But we are here in Danny Dyer's Football Factory, where legendary actor Danny Dyer is going to build us the ultimate Premier League footballer. You've got 6 categories. You have to put a different player in each category.
Yep.
It says 6. There's more than 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know who wrote 6, but whatever it is, can't count to 8.
Yeah.
Finishing, pace, passing, heading, tackling, dribbling, leadership, and son-in-law material.
Well,
now, I don't know if people know this, but your son-in-law is Jarrod Bowen.
Yes. Yeah. Father of my grandchildren.
You can't use him for any of them.
Well, that's upset me. I don't know why.
Well, because otherwise you put him in for all of them.
Well, I wouldn't.
Okay, I'll tell you what, you can.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Dan, we can make the rules up.
I'll find somewhere for him. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Okay. So, should we start with tackling aggression?
Where do you want to start?
I don't know. Start with you, mate.
We'll start with finishing.
This is your gaff. You want to start with finishing?
So you're making up the ultimate footballer.
Okay. Well, finishing.
You go as a kid when you were growing up. Who's your idol up top?
Well, Tony Cottee was back in the day.
Okay.
I mean, and McAvenny. I mean, they were the years. That's when we came third.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, I've got it up on my wall. You know,
was that John Lyle?
It was John Lyle. Yeah.
Okay.
But third, and we missed that by 3 points. Liverpool won it, I think, with 86. We had 83. And listen, we've never even got near that again. But you know, we was up there. We was top 4. I would say finishing for me.
But let me ask you this: then, who's the best West Ham centre forward you've ever seen?
For me, I suppose in my lifetime, it's got to be Cottee. I think he's the one when I first started to watch football, the nostalgia of it, and you know, he was unbelievable. Cottee, actually, he was only a diddy little player. Do you know what I mean? He was fearless, but him and McAvenny had a thing going on up front, you know, and it was just beautiful to watch. So you know, they're the years I really sort of miss. You know what I mean?
You can put Cottee in if you want.
No, listen. Well, I'm going to go because he's here. And listen, look, you've got Shearer on here, you've got Rooney, obviously, you've got Ronaldo and all that. But I'm going to go with Paolo Di Canio.
Okay.
And I'm going to do that just because of some of the goals that I've witnessed, and especially the one against Wimbledon.
Did you meet him?
I've been in the same room as him, but never went up to him. I'm not a string like that. String vest is a pest. Okay. So, you know, I just like to look at him from afar and sort of...
Do you get nervous when you...
admire his fires, you know.
Do you get nervous when you meet famous people?
No, not really. I've been... No, it's only a couple of people that you sort of go a bit weird round, you know what I mean? And footballers being one of them, you know, people you look up to, but I'm sort of used to it now, really, being around famous people, because, you know, what is it, fame? It's just a weird thing, and it's not a tangible thing, you know. So there ain't many, but coming across people like that, you go, oh, you know, because just, you know.
Finishing is Paolo Di Canio. Next up is pace.
Okay, well, pace, I think I'm going to go with...
I mean, you could put Jarrod Bowen there if you want.
I will go Henry.
Thierry Henry.
Yeah, I think so. I just think once he started galloping, you know, it was petrifying for everybody.
We had Emmanuel Petit in the studio, and he told us that it's only in this country that we put Thierry Henry up on the pedestal.
What?
That's what he said. He said in France he's not rated as highly as we rate him over here.
I feel like they've had a fallout, them two.
I think they have had a fallout.
Yeah, well, why would you say that? I mean, surely he's admired, you know, if you know anything about football. I mean, for a period of time, he was the man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because Man United at the time, we were just untouchable. He used to just tear them to shreds. It was unbelievable to watch, you know what I mean? Took great enjoyment out of it, actually.
Okay, thanks for that, Dan. Appreciate that. Thierry Henry for pace. You've got Paolo Di Canio for finishing. Passing, I've got... Now, listen, I want to put Payet. Okay.
Because, you know, he was up. But I'm not going to do that, because I feel it has to be De Bruyne. I've never seen a man pass a ball like he does, and the stuff he does, and the... You know, he sees stuff that's impossible and he does it. And it's like he's got that knack of putting, you know, a ball across. You ain't got to do nothing. Like, he sees the space that you should run into or where you're standing, and you could just stand on a 6-yard box. He could ping balls at your nut at an angle. It would come off the side of your nut and go in. You don't have to do nothing. It'd ping one at your eyebrow and it'd go in. So I think just, you know, some of the stuff he's done, you know, passing-wise is unreal. So I've got to go De Bruyne.
Do you think if you're building the greatest Premier League team of all time, he starts in midfield?
I think for a period of time, I think he's got to be in it. I just, you know, and he hasn't really got no pace or nothing, and he doesn't look frightening or anything. So I think you've got to. I think it's just because of what he can do and where he can put the ball.
Heading up next.
Heading.
You a good header of the ball, Dan?
I do like to nut it.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Interesting in Soccer Aid, I've done a nice cushion header. I cushioned it off. I think it might have been to Jack. I didn't mean it. But it come to me, and I nutted it away, and it was almost like it looked like I meant what I was doing. So I was happy with that nut. Now, interested in, I'm going to go Les Ferdinand. Because, I mean, Andy Carroll, I would, obviously unbelievable in the air. Just a throwback. But Les Ferdinand, I mean, bullet headers. So I'll go Les Ferdinand.
I did a show, I don't know if I should say this, but I'll say it anyway. I did a show yesterday with Andy Townsend. We love Andy Townsend. And we were talking off air about players that have been knighted. And and managers, and we went through it off air. And one of them, he said, Sir Les Ferdinand. And I started laughing. And he looked at me and went, what? I went, he's not a real sir. And then he looked at he's not a real sir, don't you?
No, I didn't even know it was a thing that he was a sir.
Yeah, Sir Les, they called him.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. And I went, he's not been knighted. And he was like, no.
Oh, so he actually thought that he was knighted. Mate, can you knight a Leslie?
It's a strange name, isn't it, for a man?
It's a name, that. And you won't see Leslie's not going to, like kids. You won't see a kid in the play going, oh, Leslie. He's not going to.
You wouldn't do that, would you?
No, you wouldn't. No,
you would
weird,
not call your child
weird,
Leslie.
Isn't it? Our names and all that change, you know what I mean? It's just not a thing now. It was a big thing back in the day. You had Les Dawson, Les Dennis.
Yeah, you did.
There's a few Leses knocking about, weren't there? But not so much now. Well, that's quite cute, little toddler, little Les. Here he is, Les. Les, come here.
Come on, Les.
Take your dummy out, Les.
Les, any more of that and you're going to bed early.
Les, that's it. Now get that naughty step, Leslie, now.
Oh, the Leslie comes out when they're naughty.
Yeah, of course it does.
Tackling and aggression, who are you going for?
Well, interestingly, there's no Julian Dix on this list, but I'm going to go Julian Dix because this man...
you must know him.
Yeah, I've met him a few times. Love him. I was interested. You got Vinnie Jones on the list, and Vinnie Jones, obviously being the man that he was on the pitch, everyone was petrified of him. He didn't go nowhere near Julian Dix when he came to Upton Park. Stayed away from him at all costs, and such a quiet man as well.
Who, Dix?
Yeah.
Off the pitch.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah. Until he came on the pitch and he owned it. He was just. A bit naughty, yes, but it was back in the day. But yes, this man could tackle, and his timing of tackles as well. And he made the tackle look sexy. That was the key to it. It never looked clumsy, you know. So,
do you think because of where football is at the moment, you're not allowed to have a player like that anymore?
No, you can't. Of course you can't. It's a shame, really, and I think you need a bit of that. I mean, you're allowed a little bit of it now. I do like the fact refs are letting it go a little bit more now. I mean, I'm not talking about 2 foots and all that, but it is nice, that early crunch. You know what I mean? If that's what you're on the pitch to do, which is tackle and be a pest and break up play, then you should be allowed, if it's, not dangerous, to be able to smash into people. I mean, that's what gets a crowd going, like a goal or a save. A great... When a game's flat and someone smashes it, it really lifts the crowd. Yeah. And it's a thing, tackling. And there's an art form to it. So... for me, he had it locked down, Dix. No one got past him.
I don't think you're going to get an argument out of anyone. Dribbling.
Dribbling, so many great dribblers, isn't there, over the years, you know what I mean? I would have said Hazard, but I did have him in my pocket. So,
did he speak to you after that?
Nah, blank me. So I made a mistake with him. I'd like to have had a chat with him, obviously, being a fan, thinking he's a great footballer, but shouldn't have 2-footed him, Because,
have you got a picture of that?
There is one. It's on Instagram of me actually doing it. I don't even remember doing it, but I didn't know it was 2 feet. I thought I've got to get to that, but I can see. I can't think it was Michael Ward was going to pass. I thought he's going to pass to him. He's going to do it. So I just preempted it. I don't know why I went 2 feet. I don't know. But I just wanted to make sure that tackle. I just did Frank Lampard's instructions basically. But yeah, the look he gave me. Anyway, and he did stay away from me because he was chopping everyone. I mean, little Bobby Brazier, he chopped him about 20 times. But he's petrified when he gets the ball because it's so elegant. And you're sort of looking at him going, please don't come over here again, please. But I smashed him a couple of times. Del Piero got it as well. And unfortunately for Usain Bolt went up in the air as well. I know what it is. I think they underestimated me.
That wasn't you, was it?
Yeah, well, I'll give the free kick away what they scored, but it was a good challenge, yeah? And that's when people said I was playing like Maldini. I don't know what happened. I sort of slid into him. I rolled on the floor, rolled up and just laid it off, right? But
he had to have an operation after that.
Well, that weren't down to me. I'll tell you, listen, there's some naughty challenges in that game. Essien, who smashed Stephen Bartlett, went down the back of his heel. Like, that was a naughty challenge. Evra.
Patrice Evra,
he's a loon. And the way he smashed into Tom Grennan with his hip in the back of his neck, I think I set the tone, to be fair.
I think you did. We are making Danny Dyer's ultimate footballer. For finishing, you've gone Paolo Di Canio. For pace, you've gone Thierry Henry. Passing, Kevin De Bruyne. Heading, you've gone Sir Les Ferdinand. Julian Dix, you put in for tackling and aggression. We've got 3 left. Oh, no, did you choose dribbler? You did. Who'd you go for? You went Hazard, didn't you? For smashing him.
No, I said about Hazard. I was going to choose him.
Who are you going for?
I'm going to go with. I've got to put him in there just for memory wise. I'm going to put Payet.
Dimitri Payet.
He's got an amazing goal at London Stadium when we first got that stadium, and no one wanted to be in that ground. And he took on about 12 players. I can't remember who it was, and then he just sort of laid it in. It was like, and then he had to leave under certain circumstances.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know what happened, but I was absolutely devastated.
Okay.
And it was weird. I knew he was going because his kid was the same age as my son, and they went to the same nursery. And I dropped my boy off, and I realised that his son's peg was gone. I said, "Where's that kid's peg?" And he said, "Oh no, well, obviously we can't discuss other children." I said, "Where's the peg? I need to know because it's very important to me." And obviously they took the child out of school because I think the missus had moved back to France. So I was fuming. Fuming. I think his kid was called Milan. Yeah, well, I knew, I knew his kid went there, and I never come across the geezer, of course, but I used to put my boy's coat next to that peg, just to get a bit closer to him, and then all of a sudden it was gone, and I was like, oh right, and of course we know how it panned out, unfortunately. Yeah. Although I still think there's a lot of love for that man over West Ham. I agree with you. I mean, what some goals he scored. I think he scored a nice one against United. I know, I'm sure he did.
His most famous goal was ridiculous.
It was a free kick against Crystal Palace.
Right. Yeah,
and I don't know how he bent it.
No.
You couldn't put it any more in the top corner than he did.
We talked about this on the
I
show.
think we were 1-0 down as well. And so, just silky, beautiful, just...
2 left, leadership. I mean, you've already used Julian Dix, but he was a wonderful leader.
I'm going to go leadership. Someone I'd want leading Tony Adams.
Okay.
I think he was a great leader. A good leader. I mean, he was a presence on the pitch. And I think he was one of. It's hard because obviously he was Arsenal through and through, and But yeah, I think he was a great leader. A great leader.
Don't make him like that anymore, do they?
No, they don't. Unfortunately, and I've met him a couple of times as well.
Nice. Okay, last one is son-in-law material. The reason we're saying this because your son-in-law, in case people don't know, is Jared Bowen.
Yes.
I mean,
future son-in-law. I mean, I don't know how it's going to pan out,
but he's the father of your grandchildren.
I've completed it. I've done it. It's such an amazing feeling.
How did that meeting come about? Your daughter Danny and him.
Well, she split up with her ex, and we was on holiday.
Thankfully.
And we was on holiday, all of us, me, Danny, little Santi was born, that's her son, and she went to me, "Dad, I just had a DM from Jared Bowen."
He slid into a DM.
I said, "Reply to it. What's the matter with you?" Sort of brassing her off as you do as a father, so for the rest of the holiday, basically she moved into a nice gaff. She got her first property, and he was living next door. He just signed for West Ham, so interestingly, it was all like, I was like, oh wow, Jared Bowen's living next door. You know what I mean? And then he dropped a package to her house. And
what does that mean?
Well, no, a delivery got put to his house instead of.
Oh, I see.
Like
Amazon or something.
So he dropped it round to her, and she said, "His eyes, Dad, his blue eyes." I said, "They are blue, ain't they, darling? They're so blue."
Who do you think loves him more?
It's a tricky one, that there ain't much in it.
Okay.
Anyway, for the rest of the holiday, she had this sort of gommy little look on her face, and I thought, oh, that's how they're getting on. And then he took her out, and then
Tell me the first time you met him. She brought him home.
She brought him round mine. We did it was a bonfire night party. So he came over, bless him, and
how nervous
and all my family there. I was a bit digi, but I can't have been as nervous as he was, so he walked into a bunch of, East London lunatics, all standing around a big fire, all booze going on and everything, and, and obviously he doesn't drink, he's such a straight goer, and it was a real moment for me. I mean, what'd you say to him, I wanted to take his shoes off for him and put his feet up on the settee and, give him a nice massage. You don't want to go in too strong, But, just look, all I want to see, like any father, is my daughter in love. And I tell you, when they're not with the right person, they're not the same. There's something just not right about them. And from the off, she was my Danny in front of him. And you go, that's love. Nice. He gets her, she gets it. It's a beautiful thing. So maybe I encouraged it a little bit too much. But you know what? It's true love with them too.
That's nice.
It's so beautiful.
Good.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.